What's up, Theo? What's up, Michael? This is Quincy coming at you from the great state of Texas. My question for Michael Chandler being just lay out for me what your dream career in the UFC is. When a lot of guys get here, they think, hey, I want the money fights, I want to do the Conor gig, or, I just want to chase glory, I just want a legacy, I want a name, I want that championship. So just lay out what's your ideal career with the UFC and where do you see it going? Gang, gang.
Gang, bro.
Game,
yeah, because that belt's back in play now, man.
It is. That's a good question, man. Because it's good because it's like what's the philosophy of why I made the decision. Just to give a little context, I left the relative surety of easier fights and good money in Bellator, good contract in Bellator, comfortability of being the big fish, little pond, and being kind of the poster boy for an organization to essentially come over to the UFC. Ask to get thrown to the Sharks, thrown to the Wolves right away, and then see what happens. So to answer that question, I think a guy like Gaethje or Tony Ferguson fighting and showing the fans who I am, win that fight exactly the way that I fight, prove to the fans, okay, this guy's here to stay, this guy's a legit contender for the lightweight belt, and then fight for the belt, whether it's Khabib or whether it's Conor Poirier, whether I'm the number one contender after beating one of those guys, and then Conor Poirier is the number one contender. We fight for the title sometime middle of 2021, and then after that, just defend the belt and get the big fights. Because I think,
and a crown. They should put a crown on you guys at some point.
Sweet, man. Crown would be cool, or like a medal, like an Olympic gold medal,
Yeah,
like crown would be cool.
But keep going. Sorry.
Oh no, but then get a crown hopefully,
okay.
and then
okay. So defend the belt a few times.
Defend the belt a few times, and then for me, I don't say get the big fights just for the money, but you get the big fights because that's how you get the attention. It's like the Gary V approach of capturing as much attention as possible. If you don't have people's attention or you can't get people's attention, they won't pay attention to you, and they won't. Life is all about who knows you, who trusts you, and then who's going to buy what you're selling, not just money wise, not just buying products, but buy what you're selling. Like what kind of motivation are you selling people? What kind of character are you selling people? What kind of Theos are you selling to the people so that you can reach the masses? And for me, it's all about touching as many people as I possibly can through this platform that I've been given, touching every walk of life, every corner of the globe, hopefully. And so winning the world title, and then getting big fights, either defending the belt or, BMF belt or the big fights with the big name guys to get as much attention and eyeballs on me, not for the ego of it, but for the platform of it.
Yeah, that platform. Yeah, that's a good point. Once people know you, then you can do stuff with it.
Yeah. I mean, that's really what it is. 'Cause it's a catch-22 and it's like, oh, he just did that for attention. And it's like, yeah, as long as you don't ever sacrifice your morals or your character, it's okay to do things for attention. Like I came over to the UFC essentially for attention. I came over to the UFC for competition and attention. Those are two things that I get from the UFC that I couldn't, not that I wasn't getting at Bellator, but I get more in the UFC. So it's okay to want more attention, especially if you've done things to earn it,
Was there a time previously you were going to come to the UFC and it didn't work out, or was there? How long is this whole convo going on? Is it one of those ongoing conversations for like a decade? What is it like?
So it's one of those deals where I never actually became a free agent. There was some reports out there that Chandler's a free agent. He's gonna, but I actually 2 years ago and 4 years ago was on the last fight on my contract. Ended up re-signing with Bellator with the one fight left on my contract. So I was never a free agent until August of 2020. And it just seemed like the right time this time. Back then, because it also depended on what the UFC lightweight division looked like too. 2 years ago, the landscape looked a lot different. You had Khabib as the champion. You had Conor off doing $100 million fights with Floyd Mayweather. He could come back, leapfrog me whenever. You had Poirier coming in. One of those guys had an interim title 2 years ago. It was either Tony or it wasn't Poirier, because I think Poirier was after that. But
maybe it was Tony.
I think Tony had an interim title. Habib had the title. Habib wasn't coming back necessarily. So it was just a weird time.
Soap opera.
It was a weird time for me to come in. Now exactly what we thought. Now it's perfect. 2 years later, I'm coming in at this time, which couldn't have been even more. So 2 years ago, and I said this to Dana when I spoke to him, I said, listen, 2 years ago, 4 years ago, I wouldn't have been the guy that you needed to be to come in and be the champion and be the superstar of this division. And I truly believe that I'm going to be that. And I don't say that in a cocky. I don't say that in a cocky way. I just believe like I want.
You got to believe it.
I just believe that that's what's going to happen. And maybe there's going to be some people that laugh at me and I fall flat on my face, and that's fine. But at least I find out. You know, that's how I feel in my heart right now. And you can't knock a man for how he feels in his heart. You know, a man who hitches his dream to a star. That's the only way you can go out and create impact in your life and do amazing things. So that's what I'm doing. And man, it's been cool, but I never became a free agent until just this year. And it just never seemed like the right time to become a free agent until this year.
Damn. Good evening, good afternoon, and other times. Thanks for watching that video you just saw. I mean, it was okay. But the next video you could watch could be way better. What if you watch a video right now that changes your life? Well, you could watch this one, or watch this one. Watch this one, watch this one, watch this one. Ah!